My recommendation is always to start by building your ideal weekly schedule, and not just your work week, include your personal week too, right? How much time are you spending in the gym? How much time are you spending with your kids? And when exactly is it happening? Because at least if you have a goal in mind, you can try to, tweak things and achieve that goal.
Welcome to our Happy Rainmakers video series. Today, I'm here with Ken Falcon, who is the managing partner of Falcon Rappaport Berkman, known as FRB. And we've been talking about our 6 pillars to becoming a happy rainmaker. And Ken, you've gone beyond growing a book of business and you're scaling a whole firm now. You mentioned that planning has been crucial for you. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. I mean, I think that's been a big driver of our growth and our success has been creating individualized plans for every attorney that joins the firm. I think most pertinent probably to the happiness of the individuals is their individual plan and giving people a clear path about what does success at FRB look like when they join.
So I think you mentioned to me that you have to decide with the lawyer where they fit into the business generation model. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
We talk to people about what will make them happy, where do they want to focus their legal career, and what's the stuff they want to spend time doing. Some people say it makes me really happy to draft documents all day, right? And you give me a slate of work to do. I'll follow up with the clients. I'll get the documents done. That's wonderful. Some people just want to oversee that process, don't want to be as nitty gritty involved, or don't have, potentially are just pulled in too many different directions to really give a matter the attention that it deserves and needs. And that's why you would come here to have a deeper bench behind you to support you in that way.
Sure. So a lot of the people who are watching this video are getting started with business development for the first time or feeling themselves pulled in so many different directions, having to bill hours for the year and, divide time between other obligations they may have with family or friends. How do you advise people to make time for business development?
My recommendation is always to start by building your ideal weekly schedule, and not just your work week, include your personal week too, right? How much time are you spending in the gym? How much time are you spending with your kids? And when exactly is it happening? No week has ever looked like my ideal week, but I do this actually once a year with my wife. We sit down and we look at the week and we say, how do we expect things to go? Because at least if you have a goal in mind, you can try to, tweak things and achieve that goal. How much time are you going to have to spend head down getting work done to meet your billable hours requirement? And how much time do you have to develop business? And then based on what your goals are, how much of that time are you going to use doing exactly what? So for instance, if someone says, I want to generate $100,000 worth of work, right? And my matters average $10,000 a matter for easy numbers, right? We're going to try to break that down and quantify it and say, okay, well, in the years that you've been doing this, or in if you're brand new to it, in the direction that I'm going to go, where do you expect to generate matters? And let's say that the answer to that is networking events, right? 1 in 3 networking events, I generate 1 client matter. You have to generate 10 client matters to make yourself satisfied with your business development goal. So every month you need to attend 3 networking events, right, to achieve that goal. And breaking it down and scheduling that and saying that, the networking events are happening on Wednesday at 5 p.m. for 3 hours. So I know that, that family time is out the window, but that's my networking time and that's how I'm going to achieve my goal. And then checking in and making sure your plan is actually achieving what you want it to achieve. I would say you're going to have to do some testing at the outset, right? You're going to have to say, okay, I don't know whether I like going to networking events because I haven't really done that before. And maybe you do like writing articles, and you can generate things with articles on LinkedIn and professional publications, whatever else. But, step outside your comfort zone and see what's actually getting results. And you're going to have to put probably more time in at the beginning to see what works than you'll ultimately have to spend once you figure out what is actually working for you. And you can just kind of double down on the things that you both enjoy the most and get the best ROI for.
What kind of advice would you have for somebody who's listening to this and is motivated to start doing some business development activity, maybe even for the first time, or maybe have after having been unsuccessful in the past, what's one thing they can get started with even this afternoon or tomorrow that they could fit into a busy schedule?
You have to identify what your addressable market is before you do anything. And then you need to just kind of think creatively, talk to colleagues, and figure out what your first step is. I mean, I think you'll figure out what your passions are based on your ability to speak about them. And hopefully those passions line up with the kind of business that you actually want to generate. You will have to figure that out.
Thank you very much. That was very informative. And I think it's going to be helpful for a lot of people because having your own book of business does give you a certain amount of freedom and power over your own career. It's really important to focus on.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks.
Happy to be here.